All right, here we go. Another episode here of Jak-To-The-Bur.
Jak-To-The-Bur.
With Vince Paul as the co-host. A special guest tonight, radio personality and grumpy comedian Tim Eli. Yeah.
Woo!
There you go. So Tim, you did this a while ago, and then you made the right choice by leaving. What made you decide to come back after your absence of the awful stand-up comedy world?
Wow. All kinds of shit. I mean, I firmly believe that if you're going to do comedy at all, you also have to have a therapist on the side. And when it's going well up here, it's better than therapy, you know? Mm-hmm. And especially when you have a crowd, like when you're actually on a show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
But when you're on a show and you've got people laughing, I equate that to back in high school when you find out the good-looking chick likes you, you know? It's like, wow, what a rush that is. And then, I guess I'm suicidal at a show that didn't go too well, you know what I mean? So, and you know what? I got nothing better to do, so I'm here.
Yeah. This is all a great setup. We're facing the camera, we're facing away from each other. It's this guy's playing with his phone, he's bored.
I'm definitely into it, and you're right. A lot of the problems with comedy is sometimes you get too many black guys on the show that come up with horrible stage names like DJ Killer because they couldn't make it as a rapper. But it was like Tim was saying earlier before the show, I didn't fully agree with about how black comics aren't funny because this color of their skin and their subculture, which, again, Tim, I get it, but it's kind of racist to say that, but I know that's not who you are.
That's right.
I just want to imply. I, for one, don't believe in that.
Yeah,
all right.
So you feel me?
So we're going to use my real name for the rest of this interview. My real name is Corky Lang.
Is that really your name?
Yes, it is.
I thought that was your alter ego that you got rid of.
A year ago on this stage that was my first comedy name was Corky Lang.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't been up on stage in like 10 years at that time. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I need some kind of a name. I need
a name that's going to say, bums away, Corky Lang.
Not bad. So I'm thinking, well, great drummer when I was a kid, Corky Lang with Mountain, you know? So I figured, all right, Corky Lang, offbeat, you know? And then too many people start getting me confused with the retarded kid from that show back in the 90s. I think it was called Life Goes On or something. And then I bombed, you know, in open mic I bombed, so I figured, all right, we got to ditch that name, you know what I mean? So I went back to a name that I had used way many years ago when I was doing radio and stuff. So Tim Eli, that's who it is.
I've been bombing the name Josh Jackson for over 4 years, thinking he need a new name too.
My first open mic here a year ago, Josh is doing his open mic, and he's funny. Josh is a funny man, he really is. And he's got good stage presence, and he's telling a joke about being from the Middle East. Mm-hmm. I believed it. I figured, all right, look, he's got darker complexion, he's got the whole Al-Qaeda thing going on, right? So a few months ago, I'm in the car with Josh, and I mentioned that to him. He goes, no, I'm half Cuban. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, Polish and Cuban. I'm like, holy shit, I thought you were real about being from the Middle East, you know? So, yeah, it's not funny, but it's true.
Yeah, anything on that?
Well, I think sometimes it's great that you can sell that to an audience and have it get over with them and believe it. So there's a lot of opportunities you can take with that.
Yeah, I mean, when I do comedy contests, I tell the audience that I'm black, because black guys do well in comedy contests.
Do you go up there like, what's a good name?
I go up there like, hello there!
Sir Laughter?
Hello there! There sure is a lot of white people in here tonight!
Start using the stage name like Sun 752.
Yeah, that's right.
That's good.
So I changed my name to Blackaboo. Josh Blackaboo, or Blackface. Kind of offensive, but you know, didn't know if I'm a preferred victim or not.
Do you really need blackface or just go out in the sun for 3 minutes?
Yeah. That works too. I mean, I tan very well. But Tim,
Yes.
What was it like being on the radio for so long? What's the furthest you got in your career? Did you get like sponsors? Were you rolling in the money? Were you making love to a lot of women? What was your radio career like?
Well, first of all, the money part of it was obviously I'm here doing open mic, so that pretty much tells you about the money part of being in radio. But I'll tell you what, it was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I had a gig for about a year in Southwest Florida.
I was say Southwest Philly. I was saying, well,
and it was a station outside of Fort Myers Beach, and the format was solid gold oldies. And I was doing overnights, which was basically 11. It was either 11 or midnight till like 6 in the morning, you know. But it was fun because that part of Florida was just, you know, just like you hear about the Deep South. You know, these people never went to bed. People would be out all night partying and calling me requests. 1980s, solid gold oldies, you know what I mean?
Did you
So I had a lot of fun.
I'm sorry, did you have to do the fake radio voice? Hey, okay, here. What was the name of the station?
Station
what's it
call letters,
called?
I think it was WDCQ, and it was on the AM dial, like I said, solid gold, so it might have been 1200 AM if I remember. In fact, they still exist too. WDCQ.
WDCQ here. And we have a great request here from Sandra coming out there who just lost a puppy. Don't worry, everything's going to be great with the Beatles.
Yeah, I mean, you're close, and it was like a lot of, because it's AM, so you get a lot of news whenever at the top there. We had UPI machine, Associated Press, and it was all rip and read. Rip it off, read it on the air, edit it real quick before you read it, you know what I mean? See what else, other stuff.
Did you have to stick to the script with the radio, or were you allowed to throw in some gems?
Now, we had a format. Like, it was solid gold oldies, but we had a format. Back then, we were playing 45 RPM records, and every once in a while, we used to transfer some of the music to cartridge. And they were about the size of the old 8-track tapes, which nobody but me remembers. But most of it was on 45 RPM, and then on each sleeve of the record had a colored dot on it. So it's like at every hour you'd have to play at 10 minutes into the hour you had to play a song with a green dot, followed up by a song with a red dot. You know what I mean? So the program manager had it figured out how we wanted to play out. You know what I mean? So you could improvise a little bit.
And then down tempo, and then follow down tempo with an up tempo song.
Right, and then it was, I'm working overnights, and we had a window right next to the studio that I'm in, So it's kind of tough if it's like midnight and it's pitch black outside. It's like 73 degrees and clear skies on a September evening here at WDCQ. You can't, what are you going to say? You can't say Jack outside, it's dark, and it was fun. Listen, we had a lot of fun, and we had, this was cool too, because we used to get pro wrestlers down there whenever they came to Lee County, Florida. So whenever they came to the Lee County Arena, the old World Wrestling Federation, when they still had an F instead of an E. Every once in a while, after a wrestling show, we'd get some of the wrestlers on the air. We had, one night I had Mouth in the South and Macho Man Randy Savage, and they were pretty cool guys, actually, We got them to come in at about 2 in the morning after this, and I did basic interviewing with them, nothing out of the ordinary, because I'm from Jersey, here I am living in Florida. So the little bit of money I was making, I needed it, so I couldn't afford to take a chance and be too outrageous because I needed the job, And but yeah, that was pretty cool. Every once in a while we get a rock star, Joan Jett, when she was in that arena down there, where she came on the air with us one time after a show. So I mean, that kind of stuff was cool. Made me feel like my shit didn't stink. That's for sure.
Is there times that you miss being in that part of Florida?
Not Florida, but radio, yeah, because I love music. Oh God, I love music. So yeah, I kind of miss that. Solid good oldies back then. In the New York market, because I'm from Jersey, WCBS FM was solid gold, but it was all doo-wop solid gold, you know what I mean?
So late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah, but the solid gold we were playing from was the Beatles era up until the current times, which is in the 1980s. So once an hour, we'd have to put in a current song in there and give you an idea how long ago that was.
Oh, so somebody in the audience has a question. Yes, audience member.
And I know you spend a lot of time in the South. I understand they have a lot of red lobsters. Do they have any specialty dishes?
No, there were no red lobsters down that part of Florida back in the day, that's for sure, man. But
back when we do bumps with Tony back then?
That's exactly. I'll tell you what, seriously, my monthly salary, and I was doing overnight 6 nights a week, my monthly salary was $900, So granted, my apartment, and it was a decent little apartment too, a little bungalow, it was about a couple $100 a month. But still, you have to stretch what's left pretty far, so there was a lot of bologna sandwiches, instant mac and cheese type of thing.
Yeah.
And, it's fun when you're a young guy and you're heterosexual and you got women calling you in the middle of the night telling you got a great voice, can I meet you, So it's kind of fun too, let's face it.
What's your favorite type of seafood when you do go dining?
Oh, I don't know. I would say Wu-Tang clams.
Vince has something to say. Go ahead, Vince.
What's the one thing that I can say that doing radio overnight is the same as doing open mic?
You think someone's listening, but nobody is.
One big difference is the radio. You'll get feedback as the callers call in, or quarterly when the ratings come out.
So there's more pussy and everything.
But in person, whether it's open mic, at least because you'll still have other people there, or even at a show, it's automatic feedback. If you're good or you're bad, you're going to find out right away. So.
Well, Tim, it was great talking to you. We have to keep this on YouTube Live.
Go ahead.
But thanks to Vince Paul for co-hosting. Thanks for one audience. But one last thing.
What you were saying before the interview, before we started recording, where you said the Holocaust is a lie, it was just being a for you to get money. And that's what you said, Tim, and that's cool. That's your opinion. Do you think there's more lies in stand-up comedy than there were in the Holocaust? As what you said.
Stand-up comedy.
Okay.
All right, Jak-To-The-Bur, more controversy, more episodes coming soon. Thank you for watching.